No, I understand. That's it. They will hear later, maybe listen to this, but we need to move on.
And they hear us.
No.
They can hear us for sure because our audio
Yeah,
is
but
got,
not the.
they couldn't hear the video.
Yeah, there's a setting for the video and to be able to share. Oh, how about share? Try that. Documents advanced options, share sound, there it is.
You found it?
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay,
Okay.
let's do it.
We'll do it one more time just because we have it recording, so.
No, it's okay.
You wanna do it one time or?
No, push it forward. No, they don't, right there, stop there, okay, no, play.
Or if there was anyone deceptive practices or please contact us.
Okay, thank you. So nothing new, right? Basically, but why I brought it up to your attention today, guys, because I wanted to explain to you that whatever she was talking about to consumers, as if you're a consumer, right? That's what they are looking for. That's what they are looking for. Every single thing that we talked about, they're looking for from the agent when they come and do audits, DRE audits. So getting back to several things that she mentioned. Number one, she said, ask for your license, ask for the license. So my thing is, my request is that whenever you work with a client, the new client, you start working, please send them your license, a copy of the license, okay? You need to do that, guys. That's what, it's so many things that DRE is looking for. And once you are starting working with anyone, doesn't matter who you work, you need to send them a copy of the license. If you want to make sure that they received it, send it via DocuSign that they signed, that they received it. That's what I will do. So it's a little bit more work, but world changed. Real estate industry changed. Right now, working with this new approach with buyer broker agreements and all that, guys, there are many phony, the fraud is really unbelievable. I called DRE, I asked them if they are presenting fraud, fraud situations. They're not doing this. So, but that's okay. We know that. So please, license is one thing. Another thing that I highly recommend is, do you see what it says?
No.
You don't, I'm sorry. It says membership letter of good standing
Oh.
from your association. What you need to do, number one, I want to explain to you guys that I cannot stress enough that in today's world, as never before in real estate world, it is harder to get business than ever.
Yeah.
Do you agree? And you need to stand out. You need to stand out in every single moment that you walk into the client's doors, through client's doors. Every time you talk, you need to stand out. This is stand out. This is stand out. You need to do everything possible to show that you need to dress maybe differently than you come to the office. Everything matters, guys. Everything.
So what does that say? Does that say that you've paid your $800 in?
Oh, that's a good question.
I mean, basically, I
That's a
heard
good
that a
question.
third of the real estate agents did not renew their NAR, their national registration.
They do not?
That's what I heard. A third of California agents did not renew their NAR contract.
That could be those that are associated with brokerages that didn't.
Yeah.
Because the broker has to be a part of it in order for the
So
others, right?
I think if I'm not wrong, if you're not a part of NAR, you may be having a problem with your local association. They will not have you there.
Yeah.
You will
So,
not-
so
you
I'm
can.
wondering, what does that say?
You're
Because
absolutely right. It's a very good question. Just 1 second, Celeste. So it has here disciplinary questions,
oh, okay.
right? Financial obligations to CAR and NAR. It shows that you belong to NAR. This is really good, guys. I used it. I requested that. I used it.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
From
hard.
Santa Clara, well, I belong to Santa Clara Association of Realtors.
Yeah.
That's where you got it from.
Yeah, you just email them, because
You
anytime you
request
put your
that.
IDX link, right, they want, you know,
request
join
it.
another MLS, they
Right.
ask for that.
So
You just
the
get-
first
you just
moment,
request one from them,
the first
comes
moment,
immediately.
the first moment you are in a contact with your potential client or new client, you need to present that. You need to present physically, if possible, if that's what you want, or send them, especially when they become your clients, when you start working for them, ask them to sign that they received it. I can't even tell you, I saw the difference in people's eyes. Oh, nobody showed us that. That's every time I hear that. When I show this to people, I said, I want you to see who I am and how good I am. And especially for those who've been in the business for a long time. Look, everything is there. Everything is here. The whole me is here. So you see who you're dealing with. And that's really big difference.
So I was questioning that, the DRE piece, because I thought, well, why wouldn't you give them the license and not that? But that shows you who you're connected to.
It shows
Who's your
everything.
brokerage,
Yeah,
if you've been suspended or if you've had any
Yes,
action
yes,
against you,
yes.
so.
Everything is
that
here.
is the more
And that's
important
what
piece.
you need to push. You need to be different. And you need to push no how you call this incidents or whatever, no nothing, no this, no that, everything is positive. Since that's your I don't know, your picture, who you are. And people, when the people don't know you, they will like to see that. You'll show them no disciplinary action. It says there. It's really very powerful. Highly recommend for you to start doing it this year. All right? Okay. So
I think that's a good thing to put with your presentation.
presentation,
Copy
yes,
with your
yes, yes.
presentation.
But
Yeah.
even before that, even before presentation,
Yeah.
send it to them. They will be very interested who is coming, who they are going to talk to. I always do it prior. You have to have a package before you present. All this package needs to go there. They need to see it before you come in person, because sometimes you can't. Sometimes people are very far away and you can't. So anyway, this is what I wanted you to know, and I think that might help you a lot to establish yourself from the moment they hear your name. Okay. Now, as I said here, it proves credibility and trustworthiness. Help the clients understand your qualification and expertise. Establish strong foundation for your client relationships and build long-lasting trust. So you can use all this. Don't throw it away. You can use it for your presentations and talking. It's really good stuff. Remember agents' duties. What are basically agents' duties? Oh my God, we can go the whole list, right? We can sit and write. So much we do. So much we do. I want to focus today on educate, explain, and counsel. Those are 3 duties that I would like us to really take a look at it and see how we're doing this. We already talked before about this, and let me give you some yeah, this is it. So let's pass this, please. Oops, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, let's pass this. Okay. So I cannot even.
Was this in the email?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Oh, no, this is not.
Can you give
No,
one
she
to?
will.
Yeah.
Yeah, we will.
Everybody has it, right? Everybody has it? Okay, so guys, this is an old sample that I wrote to you.
Colleen doesn't have the very first handout.
Pauline
We
doesn't
have an
have the
extra?
very
Oh,
first.
the
We got another one?
Exit on the top.
Oh, that one.
Okay,
There you go.
all right.
Yeah.
That's
Got a
Everybody
file
has
in
it?
there,
Okay.
it's
So let's focus on this, guys. One of the things,
fine. We don't.
one of the reasons I brought this up, we do not do it properly. We do not educate, we do not explain, and we do not counsel enough. And the reason I'm saying this, because I see I'm looking at quite many files and I see what's happening, not only yours. So I want to show you something that I brought today for you. Okay, I worked with a car attorney. He was on the defense panel, Mark Stavros. I worked with him a lot, and he sent me the whole book and of law. This is law, and he sent me the whole book. I made this page only. It says here, perhaps the most important fiduciary duty that surfaces in the litigation context is the duty to explain and counsel. Okay, so guys, I really want you to understand that we need to come out this year with a better approach we touched it last year, but I didn't put much attention to that because we were doing other things. But believe me, it's very important. So let's talk about it. We have tons of information, right, that we give to our clients. How do we manage all that? How do we explain all that? And I want to start with the contract. The contract is the key thing that in court, they will ask you more about the contract, how you explain it than anything else. Do you understand? So I just gave you the sample. I haven't updated it. This is for the listing agreement. I haven't updated it yet, but I highly recommend for you to rethink this if you want to use this one or create your own, it doesn't matter. Do you remember what she said? Commissions are negotiable by law. Remember that. And you all remember that contracts have this in bold, right? Commissions, but nobody talks about it. Nobody talks about it, probably except me and those who took my classes. Guys, this is what DRE during audits are looking for. How did you explain? How did you cover? This type of document, again, I was not that smart to create it. I got it from attorneys. This idea, I got it from attorneys. And believe me, it works. First of all, you will not spend so much time explaining. Believe me, it really will go very fast. But you need to have this type of outline to go over the contract, cover every single thing, every single part of the contract, and let them sign that they got the education.
So what I'm hearing you say is, you don't have to go word for word in
Oh,
the
no.
contract. These are the important highlights that you explain, everything else is gobbledygook in the middle, and they can
Yes.
read the gobbledygook.
Yes.
on their own.
They can read that. It's their duty to study it. That's their contract, right? But you need to guide them. You need to counsel them. You need to educate. So let's talk about this particular document. So as you can see, this document, how many sections does it have? If you can count very quickly.
7, 8.
8 sections. So if you spend 3 minutes per section, up to 5 minutes per section, it's about 30-40 minutes. It's much less than you spend now, probably. And you will not cover the entire contract, even if you spend hour, because every single person in this room has their weaknesses when it comes to the contract and strengths. If we're talking about purchase contract, and we'll talk about how later, next time, how to explain purchase contract, because it's huge. I'll tell you how. But guys, I really want you to start working on this if you want to be safe. The idea that you cover everything and you present that to the attorney, can you imagine how powerful this will be? And of course, you need to know what the section is all about. You need to know that, right? So for example, Margaret, could you do me a favor, please, and pick any section from that list, any section you like.
Seller responsibilities and duties.
Okay, go ahead, explain to me, from what you remember. Explain to us.
What do you mean? So, okay, what are the seller duties and responsibilities? Their duty is to have the property in a marketable condition.
Okay,
I'm not looking at that.
all right, it will be difficult for you, I don't want to put you on the spot, but what I do want is, guys, I'll give you right now the residential listing agreement, and we will take a look what the section says, okay? Because that's very important, very important.
And has this been updated for the?
No,
new-
no, as I
Okay, so we
said,
don't have the paragraphs.
Right,
matched.
right.
Okay.
right,
This version does have the new changes highlighted in red.
yeah,
Yeah,
and I will
but-
talk about it, guys,
The
don't worry,
listing
I'll talk
agreement
about it.
does.
I'll talk about it. Okay, so let's go to seller's duties, Margaret.
Which should be like page 9 or something like that.
You should have picked or five.
And it's yeah, I should have picked something else.
You should have picked broker duty.
Seller's representation is on page 3. Is seller representation, because that's part of this thing.
Brokers and sellers duty number 7.
Oh, okay. Oh, there we go. Okay.
If you want to read it, go ahead to read it. It's
Well,
okay.
I'm looking for just the seller part,
Yeah, the seller part for me.
but that means I have to go through it to find it. Okay. Different strategies. Seller instructs broker A to present offers. Broker agrees to present all offers and present them to seller as soon as possible unless seller gives broker written instructions to the contrary, page 3. Item 7, paragraph 7. Or the seller instructs broker not to present offers until a later time. If checked, 2F1, seller has elected to have broker hold all offers and present them as specified in 2F1. Broker will inform seller that an offer has come in, but will not submit the offer to seller unless specifically instructed. Okay, that's good enough, right?
Yeah,
So it says you haven't updated it. On this sheet, it says 9, page 3.
no, as I said, it's not updated, so let's work from, that's why I gave you that.
That's up here at the
Okay.
seller.
So, guys, now what I would like you to do, Margaret, that's what I would like you to do really. Now you can use this, of course, because you will be looking at this, but if you can summarize and let's see how fast you can explain seller's duties and responsibilities, basically. So he has, seller has a lot of duties and responsibilities. It goes through like disclosures and all this, but based just on these 2 sections, what would you say?
Just on,
Just 6 and 7.
oh, sorry. Seller represents that that the property is, in position to be able to transfer title, but be clear. And there's nothing, no litigation or anything on it, and that they are the authorized seller.
Okay.
And
Okay, so guys, I just, we will learn how to really grasp the several good things about every paragraph, we'll do it later. But this is an idea, you need to prepare for this step. You need to sit down and write out everything you want, which is really the main focus of this paragraph. That's what you do. So it will take you about 30 minutes to explain, 20 to 30 to 40 minutes to explain this entire contract. It's much less time and you will cover everything, but you need to prepare for that. We'll learn how to do that.
So is it acceptable to highlight the contract or?
No, don't highlight,
Don't highlight.
don't highlight.
no, because you might miss something.
Yeah.
Because that will, you will channel them to certain things and they will prove in court that you talked only about highlighted things. So it's better not to highlight. See how I'm start thinking as attorney things, but this is very important, guys. I really want you to think about what we talked today, sit down, and you will spend about an hour or less prepare this step, but it will be with you forever. So it's really good to have that, guys, and explain. Especially with the purchase agreement, there are people who are really strong with financial part of it, right? And they do not know anything about anything else. So they focus all 2 hours talking about financial because they're strong there. Or someone is strong on title, issues. Or someone is strong on disclosures and the rest is gone. We will not do that. We will do it one time. Very important to do it one time, cover it and forget it. Now, can we really forget it? That's the next question. You're saying, Z, that no, we cannot. And you are absolutely right. We cannot forget it. I'm going to teach you something today that I really hope you will start applying to your everyday practice. So, whenever you are dealing, first of all, sellers, this contract, listing agreement is as important as purchase contract because there are two parties to the contract, seller and buyer. So seller needs to understand what's going on in the purchase contract as well, right? We'll talk about it later, how we prepare the seller. But let's say, generally speaking, seller got an offer, right? Seller got an offer. What you need to do is to follow up, or not to follow up, just as informational piece, you send email, Mr. Seller, I got an offer today, and you put the date when you got an offer, and I would like you to review the following paragraphs of the following contracts. What you do, you push trouble from yourself to them. If they do not do it, it's their fault. But you need to say in your email, I received an offer. I would like you, prior to reviewing the offer, I would like you to review the following paragraphs in your listing agreement, such as, and you list the paragraphs. That's what attorneys are looking for. That's what the good agent does. Very few of us, we are good agents, but very few of us do the right thing.
Wait a minute, you said something, you said review the following in the listing agreement.
In the listing agreement, so because we're holding right now listing agreement, we focus on the listing agreement, so let's see what we can.
Wait a minute, wait a minute.
talking about the offer.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about, you
So
sent them the offer to review,
it.
no?
Yeah.
No.
That's
So-
what you said.
Yes, let me explain to you
Okay.
guys, that's why I said, right? So let's know already, she is an expert in listing agreement, no? So guys, listing agreement talks about offers.
Oh, okay.
That's why we need to do that. Because
Okay.
people don't remember, people don't care what they sign.
Right.
And you know that, I know
Yeah.
that. So but your role, that's how you show that you guide them, you explain, you counsel them. Let's find the paragraphs that talk about an offer in the listing agreement. We need to make sure that we understand listing and purchase contracts. They go side by side. There is no differentiation here.
So where does it say that?
Okay, look and tell me. If you can find, tell me. If not, I'll tell you.
Oh, 7B?
Yes,
7B, presentation of offers, right?
right.
Okay,
170.
okay. Besides that, if you remember market condition advisory, remember it talks about offers? That's a good idea, right? Because people sign and nobody reads that tons of documents, but if you do this, if you collect and from the purchase agreement, whatever seller, or maybe not, it's up to you how you want to take it. Maybe before reviewing the offer, you don't need to do it. But this for sure, that's the reason why it's here, because sellers need to learn how to handle the offers, and nobody teaches them. All right, so this is a very good way to protect yourself, guys. Very good way. So please start doing this. Okay. Okay, that's what we do.
I can guarantee you that most agents do not explain any of these.
Absolutely,
I mean-
absolutely,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
That's right.
I mean, it's a pro.
So, and again, if you want to use this handout or put your own using this, that's what you talk to people. When you talk to consumers, when you talk to potential clients, you say, I handle this business differently, right?
Yeah.
I put my heart and soul into that to make sure that you know what you're signing, to make sure that you know that nobody goes after you. I'm looking out for your interests. I am your advocate. Things like that.
So are you gonna update this character?
You want me to do it? Yes, of course.
I have a question about timing. So, I have two examples right now. So I took my daughter and her boyfriend to see some places in San I did not have them sign a buyer's agreement with me. Should I have?
Well, why would
Yeah.
you not treat them the same as their clients?
Right, yes, she did not, the San Francisco agents, two agents didn't request seeing them. So then my second question is, does a listing agent need to request that
No,
you've done?
No.
you have to do it
No.
before you even show any properties according to the new law.
Alright.
It's low. She mentioned the DRE
Yeah, that's right.
piece, remember, she said January 25, now it's low. Before they were preparing us, now it's low, that's what she said.
Well, whatever is practical and before you write an offer. So is it that the showing one is no longer available or useful?
The PRS.
The showing of the properties, you mean?
There was a form that was not the full buyer broker agreement, but an agreement to show property.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
everything is,
PRS.
yeah, it's there.
So she can use that,
Yeah,
what we call
yeah,
the short form.
yeah,
And then
short
when she
one,
writes
yeah,
an offer,
yeah.
she has to have it signed.
Yeah,
agreement.
so that one for a short, maybe one time, but if you are planning to work with them, go through the whole thing.
Okay, so that's one question, so my two big errors already this year, and so the second one is, we got a referral, Margaret got a referral. I'm kind of talking to this person who's looking in a different city for a property. I did not yet initiate a buyer broker agreement with that person. Now, they're not ready to look at properties, they're just getting, information from us. Should we have initiated a buyer broker agreement?
Okay, that's the key. The key is, are they your customers or your clients? If you are just giving them information without anything else, educating them, counseling them, advising them, they are customers. You don't need that. But if you start really seriously putting your time into that, yeah, go with it. There is nothing wrong to have a disagreement, right? I mean, that will not hurt, but it may hurt without it.
So the question I have though, she said that the agreements are only good for 3 months from execution of the agreement, right? So if you start now, but they're not really gonna move for 6 months,
You just have to do it.
yeah, then you're having to renegotiate the contract again with them.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I'm just wondering then if it's a referral from another exit office. I mean, are we putting in that buyer broker agreement that there is a referral or?
A referral, no.
No.
It's just internal, you have a referral form coming from the agent.
It's between the brokerages.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all.
Right.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
So education, start thinking about rethinking how you're going to do it. One thing that I noticed that people, agents, of course, agents are people, they are so busy that they forget about little things that they need to do. And this busy stuff, lazy stuff, indifferent stuff should go away. Whatever it is, it should go away. It's like a surgeon. You may have a terrible life, your private life as a surgeon, but when you walk into the room, you need to forget about everything else. You are a surgeon, you're saving somebody's life. So that's how I see it, and that's the etiquette I would like it to have. All right, so legal requirements. Educate the clients on important topics and provide them with essential resources and knowledge to help navigate through various transaction challenges. Resources. One of the things that I talked about last time, I would like to mention to you again, resources, giving them links, giving them the card forms, all this is education, right? All this is your protection. The more you do it, you say, oh no, I will not do it, it's too much for them. Never decide for someone else. Never make a decision for someone else. It's not too much for them, it's too much for you. That's what the attorney will tell you. You do not want to work, not them. They are maybe willing to do it. So always give them information. For example, I'll give you an example. I'll show you the links, the websites, but for now, just an example. When you suggest to hire let's say a handyman or contractor or someone else, right? What do? You give them several names, is that correct? and they need to
Maybe.
choose.
Maybe there aren't several available that you know of, so you might just.
So-
wonder.
What I do, I will show you next time when we talk about all this. But there are websites, big websites, government websites, state websites, and you need to show those websites, give them the links to the websites which talk about how to choose an inspector, how to choose what to look for. This is education. I do believe in that so much that it really makes a big difference to me when I see agents just sliding through without thinking. Oh God, if you're in front of attorney, everything that I talk to you, he will ask, how did you educate him? Well, I explained this, how did you explain? And you start explaining, you are shaking, your blood pressure is up. What can you say? Mostly nothing. But if you have something in writing that you did A, B, C, D, E, F, then, oh God, you really educate them. They didn't want to read it. Who cares? It's up to them now. Do you understand, guys? So please rethink the way you structure your business because it really makes a big difference. Explain complex concepts in easy to understand manner. That's what when you go through contracts, you explain in your own words, but make sure that they are the right words. Offer education, counseling, guidance from start to close transaction. Never, never, ever go away from your client, meaning that you got a listing, you got this deal, and you forget, right? A lot of agents disappear. We don't want that. Okay? All right.
I think in teams, that's an issue too.
Say it again.
I said in teams, that can be an issue.
A team?
Because you've got the initiator of the contract, and then sometimes they throw everything over to teammates. And so they're not explaining or educating, so.
Yeah,
I
and
think-
that's exactly what I brought up when I first started, because I remember Nikki and what's his name, this guy? Bob. So Bob, nobody saw Bob ever probably, right? And he is on the contract, and I brought it up at the time, telling guys, if you're on a contract, they need to know you at least once. They need to know who they're dealing with. This is just logic. This is just what needs to be done. But when you work in teams, it's very important that you, Margaret, have their duties for each transaction in writing, what each person will do for that client. Margaret needs to have, you need to present Margaret. Well, Margaret is going to do A, you're going to do B, she is going to do C, but it needs to be, and that needs to be signed by the client that they agreed to that. Okay? All right. That's education. Do you have any questions about the idea how to educate the clients? No?
But what you're saying is, to go back to this license and letter of good standing, if it's a team of 3 people gonna work on a transaction, then all 3 of them should be going to the client right in front.
Yeah, because you put you ask them to sign and they agree to work with A, B, and C guy. So it's 3 people represent. Yeah, you cannot disappear. It's not right to disappear from the client's life and then still get paid. What have you done to get paid? And Margaret needs to protect herself by asking you, submit to me, what are you going to do for this client? That makes a big difference. I hope you see that as much as I do. All right. Timing of working on client disclosures and other related documents. That's another thing that I would like us to talk today. Timing. Timing is the key. So now let's just imagine this terrible thing that when I first started it, I saw that happening every time with agents I work with. What they have done, they grabbed the entire folder of disclosures, send it to the title company, and ask the client sign all the disclosures at the time of signing the closing documents.
No, I don't do that.
Okay, so that's terrible. That's why I say
Right?
Nobody's doing
Nobody's
that
done that
here.
in
Okay.
my office.
So we'll talk about this in 1 second. So what we need to
Contract would be invalid.
so what we need to understand that
Do you understand?
when you
No, she doesn't. Okay, Desiree doesn't understand. So you have a packet of disclosures.
Mhm.
Those disclosures have to be signed within a period, they have to be provided to the buyer within a period of time in the contract. What she's saying is, and I've seen it happen, that the agent, the listing agent, buyer's agent doesn't, we're talking about at any time, whether it's the disclosure on the seller side or on the buyer side.
Absolutely.
That either one didn't sign within that period of time,
That they went into the very,
that
the closing
they,
document.
hang on, Raymond. That they went all the way to the end and they're sitting there signing the closing docs the day before closing escrow. And they're signing disclosures that they should have signed in a period of time that the contract requires.
Right, okay.
So that's what she means.
They didn't even review it.
Yeah. so-
Exactly, you can't review them or read
And
it or
that's-
anything.
I should take that back a
That's
little bit.
not
That can happen when you get flippers.
Yeah.
That don't care to see anything and they'll do it at the end. Because they said, I don't care, I'll buy it as is, I see it, I'm a flipper, I'm gonna tear the
They
place
they
down.
may not care, but you care. And that's a big difference because we don't go, should not go by somebody's, attitude. We need to do our jobs like doctors. We need to cut you, we'll cut you, because that's what we need to do. Okay?
It's so important because there could be some disclosure that changes their mind.
Yeah,
about the whole
And
transaction.
don't go with someone else. If your client does not listen to you, you document that. You
Well, they wanna buy
document
the
it.
property as is, never even requested disclosures. How does that
Well,
work?
it's not a request, it's a requirement of the contract to provide them this.
You can still send them, and if they choose not to sign them or do anything
Yeah,
outside.
they can do that, but you need to document. You need to document that they refuse
Oh,
to sign
okay.
it.
Okay.
You need to document everything, guys. Everything must be documented. Okay, so
So documentation can be, hey, here's the link again, I've requested this, it needs to be done by a certain date and review.
you haven't done it, that's it.
Right, but at least you have communication
Yes.
that shows that
Yes,
you've tried.
and you know, and I know, we all know that agents just do not look into anything. They grab the deal and TC this,
They
throw at TC, and TC, of course, she's doing only what she or he needs to do, but you cannot sue TC for not doing the job. I mean, you can if she put you in trouble, but generally speaking, you can. Everybody goes after you, not TC. So,
Well, you're the one with the license.
yeah. So,
You're on the contract, not the TC.
now that we understand that timing is everything, I would like to bring up another example very quick regarding disclosures. Do you remember this form, which is called Disclosure Information Advisory? Do you remember? Remember, it's a great form. We talked about it. I love it. This form does everything that you don't do, meaning it explains how to handle disclosures, which is unbelievable form. Thanks God we have it. Now, what's the purpose of this form, in your opinion? What's the purpose? I just said it, but I want to hear from you. What's the purpose of this form, guys?
It explains it in detail.
Educate the client.
Educate the client how to do what? How to handle disclosures, how to treat disclosures, how to do whatever needs to be done. Now, let me ask you this. If Pauline is an agent, right, Pauline? And you don't want her to
No,
be an
Pauline's
agent.
not an agent.
I know, but I
Oh.
said if she is an agent and she sent TDS, SPQ, NHD to the client, asking them to sign, and they signed it, and later at the close of escrow, she sent this one to sign, which happens all the time. What's the purpose of
What's
this
the
form?
point? Yeah,
What's the
right.
point of this form? Do you understand, guys?
Yeah.
So it's called Disclosure Information Advisory. So everything that you do, think about it. Don't just dump into something. Don't just dump into there. This needs to be done timely. Attorneys are looking, when did you give it to them? What did you do with the form? Things like that. Timing is everything. Okay? All right.
Does that form, it talk about the natural hazard disclosure?
I don't think
I
so.
don't think so.
I don't think so. It doesn't talk about that, but SBSA talks about natural hazards. SBSA, yeah.
I was just gonna say,
Yeah.
because of insurance being so crazy right now,
Yes,
that
yes.
natural hazard is important
Very important, but this one talks about generally HOA disclosures, TDS, that's what it talks about, that which is very important, very important. It does what you cannot do, I cannot explain as
And
well as
that,
this.
it goes to both the listing and the buyer?
Yes, yes. No, this one goes to your client only,
The listing?
whoever your client
Right,
is.
so it could be
Yeah.
it could be a
But-
seller or a buyer.
Right, yeah.
Oh, okay.
This goes to your client, but again, timing. If you send it before you send them disclosures, it will be much better accepted by attorneys than if you send it after they sign the disclosures. Do you understand my point?
Sure.
Okay, so proper timing is crucial. Okay, all right,
So when should we send it?
I'm sorry.
So when should we send it with the other disclosures?
So you can send it with the disclosures, PDS, SPQ, you can send it with HOA, or you can send it before. You can send it, but you need to point out, send the email explaining, I'm sending you this disclosure. And again, you send them the bunch of disclosures via DocuSign or via any other system, and you do not explain those forms. That's why to kind of pull them out of this whole thing and reiterate the purpose of each form will be very helpful.
Well, what I did my last time is I took that form in the SBSA and I gave it to him when I signed the listing agreement and told him to read it. And then I sent it like 3 days later, DocuSign. That's what I did. And then I went back to do all the other disclosures with them. Because, yeah, we did them in person.
Yeah.
So that they had time to read them before I sent all the disclosures,
So-
the other disclosures. That's
Nikki
what I
brought
did.
a good point right now. I actually wanted to talk and I forgot about it. Guys, when you ask your client, your potential client, you're sitting at the table, right? And you are asking them to sign the listing agreement this moment when you're there. That's how you secure the listing, you think. But it may generate a lot of problems for you. You need to give them time to understand what they're signing. You don't want to kind of leave it in the air and leave and then come back. You don't want to do that. That's fine. Send them a sample of the listing agreement.
I sent them the listing agreement before I got over there.
Yeah.
I just went over there.
Send them a sample of disclosures. And speaking about disclosures, let me explain to you something else very important. So we're talking about again residential listing agreement. So if you remember, we talked about additional forms, quite a bit of forms we talked about, which should be on our checklist, because I do believe that will help us a lot. So now, I talked to attorney about that. It bothered me because I do believe we need to have them, but your kind of guys' perception was it's too much. That's what I heard. Too much for people to sign, read. Now, the key thing to remember, you need to let them know upfront what they are signing. You need to let them know upfront what they are going to see. In order for us to do that, how do we do that, guys? What do you think we need to do? What do we need to do in order to inform your client that you're going to have about 20 more, not 20, but maybe 10 more. 20, it's too much. 10 more.
20.
20 more. Okay. You like 20. Okay. What do you do, guys?
You can have a
What's the right way to handle this?
send them in advance to review, I guess.
Send them to advance to review. Any other ideas, guys? How do you make them know, aware that something's
A
coming?
lot of what you talk about, you should personally sit down with these people, or if you have to do a Zoom call, you should personally do a Zoom call in order to.
Okay, all right. So this is, I think, in my opinion, what you just said is a little bit different from what I'm thinking. So let's talk about this. In order for you to be able to get from them what you want, what our company wants, and we want to protect them and us. How do we do that? By using different card forms, right? This is our protection. In order for us to accomplish this, you need to make it a part of the contract. That's the only way you will be able to prove in court that they agreed to that.
So it has to be an addendum or.
You need to create a list of documents, and believe me, it will be not overwhelming. It will be just several extra, maybe 5, 7, I don't know. But you need to explain to them, this is my company requirements. Hi, hi. Look who's here, guys. All right.
I got Daryl to the doctor and back and.
We are very happy to see you, very happy to see you. So,
So are you saying that there needs to be a list of documents that you're going to send them and let them know ahead of time, you document what they are? You
so
list them out?
every time you want someone to sign something, it has to be approved by them. You cannot jump. That's what I talked to car attorney about that at length. And I told them that my concern is that I do believe in car forms. I do believe in their power, but people, agents do not like the idea of bombarding every time you bombard them with tons of, and the attorney's way to respond was make it a part of a contract. If they decide not to, it will be their fault, not yours. Do you understand, guys?
So I'm not sure what you're saying. Are you saying have an addendum?
Addendum, yes,
To
make
the
it,
contract.
yes,
That lists all
Yes.
of the forms that you will be
Yes.
sending them.
yes,
Additional
Additional
advisories
forms,
or
yes.
whatever is what you said,
yes,
that are not listed in the
contract,
contract already. That's,
And
okay?
is there a list of those?
Yes,
already
you have it a
documented?
checklist.
yeah.
You
on
have
the
it a checklist
in
that
the
we
pipeline.
updated.
Okay.
So, and you can print that checklist, maybe that's all you need.
But
And
some
you-
of the forms on the checklist are actually already listed in the contract, right?
Then those the ones that are not. Okay, so as you can see this on page, let me see which page is that. If I can find the page, do you remember we have this? Yes, on page 2, yes. On page 2, take a look at this, guys. Page 2, paragraph 3, advisories and addenda. They already put several here, right? So they marked this one, which is a part of it, okay? Now you do need to add all the forms that they are going to sign. So again, I can't stress enough the importance of this step. Because number one, it protects you that you inform them upfront about the things that needs to be done. Okay? Now, if they decide not to,
So,
and yeah,
so what mechanically,
yeah,
how do you do this? So number 3, I would check mark other. And then I would put in there and refer to see addendum, blah, blah, blah,
yes.
number 1.
That's how we normally do, right?
Okay.
We refer to a document. We refer to a document. And what I would like to ask you guys that when you create a document, put exit logo, that it's really kind of, official, because you will tell them, right? That you'll tell them that this is our company requirements. And you will tell them they may not to sign it if they don't want it, but your duty is to give it to them. It's like with any disclosure. Do you understand, guys? That's how it should be handled. That's the right way to handle it.
Okay, so, Marta just said check other and put C addendum, but B right here says addendum, the identified below are incorporated into this agreement. So wouldn't we just, we don't need to do other, we just need to check B and put the addenda there?
Anyway.
Yeah, we can do that as well. Yes, we can do that as well. You can do both if you want to.
I would prefer advisories.
Well, yeah.
Oh.
Well, I was, the reason I
No, you're right,
was
you're right.
thinking, okay, here's why I chose to say under advisories. Because addendas seem to me is a little different. I don't know, because I'm thinking that it is.
You can do
The
both.
forms are more.
Do both.
Either one work,
guys.
either one work. No, don't do both, either one.
One or the other.
Yeah, that was.
Okay, you don't want to do both? Okay.
Well, no, because then it's duplicated.
You can work.
Yeah.
You need water.
I'm sorry. Okay, guys, do you understand? That's very important.
Let
So,
me ask you a question, wait a minute, something we haven't been doing Well, additional agent acknowledgement, is it in the listing agreement? Is it
Yes.
a line item in the listing, we don't have to. prove it. I know where you're going.
Okay, after the sign it. Oh, thank you, Dorothy, thank you so much.
Those cups are a little weak, so careful, don't
Thank you.
squeeze
When
too
you
hard.
make it part of the
Don't
contract,
squeeze it hard.
so when you say make it part of the contract, if you come 5 days later, can you still make it part of the contract as though addendum number 1, addendum number 2, addendum number 3?
Then it's an amendment.
Then it's amendment, but I mean, is that still considered part of the contract?
Yeah,
That will,
yeah, absolutely.
so you could also have an amendment that says, I've sent them this, and this car form, you're saying. You get both addendum and amendments to it.
Guys, so the bottom line is that that's the right way to do it. That's good business practice, okay? And if you were not doing this, start doing this, please.
So, addendum is when you're writing, you attach it to the listing contract immediately at the same time, right? But if you do it later, then you're amending the
So,
contract.
so the addenda just is a list of the documents that we're going to send them? Or do we, when they sign this listing agreement, the addendum is there as a list, and then behind that addendum are all those documents? I got a no over here.
Yeah, go ahead, that's
So
right.
if it, the addenda is where like, if we have any additional forms that you're gonna have signed at the same time as the contract is not on the contract, correct? Anything after that you haven't signed, it's gonna be on the, right?
At the time of the contract is addendum. After it's, everything is done,
Okay.
signed.
What Connie wants to know
Yeah,
is, what are
we
you
can do that.
saying on the addendum? What does it say?
Is it just a list of forms that we're going to send them, or is it a
Well, don't
list
you
of
have to
forms
write
that
it?
are in the stack? That we're,
In the
Or-
step,
well, I
What do you
guess
mean?
if most of us are using e-sign,
You can
so.
technically do it either way, just as long as it's before the contractual date that you've listed on there.
Oh, yeah.
Before the contract, what date?
So like if you put a specific addenda or not, what is it, disclosure?
Or advisory.
Advisory, right. And you put a specific date on there, as long as you send it but beyond that.
yeah.
date. Before that
Okay,
date.
here's what I would do. The form itself, the addendum, see addendum, blah, blah. Addendum says, the following advisories are incorporated into the listing agreement dated, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
That's what I would do.
So we're just talking about advisory,
No,
we're
no,
not talking about.
everything, whatever is
So,
going
we're talking-
into
Yes.
that. But there will be additional disclosures,
These are
advisory.
additional, what you're putting on the addendum is the additional, not all the.
Don't use the word disclosures, don't use the word advisors, just put this is, the following is the list of California Association of Realtors, in parentheses, CAR, standard forms for your protection, you can, or for your better understanding, for your protection that this company requires you to sign,
But the
something like
question
that.
is it attached to the listing agreement or do they
Yes.
come later?
No, it should be part of the listing agreement. Later, if you want later, you need to amend it.
Well, you could say it in the addenda, but then the actual form comes later. Maybe it's not ready at the time.
It doesn't matter, it's not the purpose, it doesn't say timing when they will come. It just says that this is what you will be
You
getting,
will get these.
and your signature, your review, signature, understanding, whatever you want to say is required. That's all, it's not timing, we're not talking about the timing. We're talking about them being able to understand what they are getting. And not to get upset with you and not to create an issue with that. You need to make sure that you minimize every possible, dissatisfaction, I guess. And one of this, yes, they have the right not to sign it. It's not required by law, but it's required by the office. And you may say even that in case you decide not to sign, you will still be provided with those forms. That's the key, that you still send them the form. It's up to them to sign or not.
We're gonna have to write that out so we can all use
Yeah.
that. So we're
Yes.
using the right
What
language.
is it
Like we
you
need a
said?
template.
Yeah, go ahead, Z.
Well, okay, so my understanding is there's a list of
all the forms and advisories we expect to be included in the transaction so that they understand just what they're getting into.
Yes.
Thank you.
That's the key. People don't like surprises, okay? People, and that's the differentiator we were talking about. You need to be different. And this is one of differentiator. You will show, that's what I will be sending you because it will cover your, you know what. Okay, very good. Any other questions about this? No? All right, next. The next thing I would like to talk about is that we got all the forms, not all, quite a bit of forms revised. You know that, right? You know that.
I can see the red in this one.
Yeah.
Yes, so my suggestion, and I'll show you the link, and if you like to see the link, Raymond can always send you the links that I provided Raymond for this training. So those are the links on CAR website, and my suggestion is, because certain forms you may be using, please take a look at the red stuff. Take a look at the red stuff. I especially wanted to show you how they come. Okay, that will help you to kind of be in touch with reality and what needs to be done right now.
Yeah, send it to everybody.
Could you please show the link?
I saw the link on the card form yesterday, on the card site yesterday.
This whole thing about concessions.
I think it's like on the front page of the car website.
Oh, God. I don't have to pay any. Buyer's agent.
Well, they did clarify it's the buyer broker between the listing agent and if they're double ending. Like that.
Okay, so you will see right now how, what, where you can find them and how they look like, those pages in CAR, and that will help you a lot. And also, that's interesting, they came up with the description of the forms. I think I sent you the link as well. So if you want to know what the form is about, they give you a short description right now, which is really good.
I had I had re-signed the new listing contract last week. And this one came up, the unrepresented buyer.
Right.
I had a hard time trying to figure out how to explain that. Because it's like, okay, why would I pay you more if they're not representing and you're not representing them? You know, the seller's like, well, why would I pay you more? So that was the question that I was just like, I don't know how to say
Because
that.
the buyer didn't have an agent, is that?
Correct, but.
The buyer calls the seller directly and says, oh, I live next door and I wanna buy your property. That's an unrepresented buyer, right?
Then,
If they don't hire
but
me.
you can represent, so you will have a dual agency, that's all there is to it. Now
What
you
about if they
represent the
want to
buyer.
represent?
We're talking
Right.
about
We're
compensation.
talking about getting compensated,
And then you
and
will
this
get-
has nothing to, does not apply to dual agency, so it just is weird. It's just between, it's just a weird
Then you'll just, I guess,
identification here, I don't understand where they came up with this. I really did.
we can talk later about this
Yeah,
because I'm
anyway.
going to talk about it later, but
Okay.
today let's keep
Yeah.
going on what I have. Did you open the links? Yeah, this one
I didn't, I emailed it out to everyone.
and the second one. See, guys, the title, let's show the title, December 24 form release, and now go
Good
here.
summary,
This
guys,
is,
yeah.
this is all the forms that have been revised. And what you do,
Click that.
and what you do, you click on the form that you like, and
Oh,
here is a list
It'll
of
take you-
forms. And you'll find this form, and it has all kinds of revisions in
It
different.
tells you the
ways.
dates that they were modified as well.
Yeah, and it goes through the
Oh,
dates.
so not all of them are modified in December, but these.
No,
no,
September, October, okay.
Okay, so.
But here's my problem, I don't know what the heck those acronyms are,
Me
that
either.
drives me
I mean, some of them I
crazy.
Yeah.
know, but not all of them.
Yeah.
So go back, please, can you?
Right, go back.
No, yeah, to the beginning, to the
And
page.
the titles that they gave
See-
some of these documents.
you see?
I read.
Go ahead.
It says here, December revised form release, this is for December. And you find the way, so we have RLA here, RPA, we have all those releases here.
So it also tells you which new forms they added, so these are completely new forms that have been.
And they added new forms, you can take a look at
So Raven,
those.
just click on IDA.
This whole thing just goes through that
Up
same
here,
thing.
IDA, just see what it.
Oh,
It's just gonna take you to this one.
yeah, it goes all the way here, so let's look
We can go
for
find
idea,
it.
idea, yeah.
I
just
see
get
it, I didn't see an idea.
Well, that's what they're saying is it's a new form.
I didn't see an I, you saw an I think. Go up, let's see,
What is idea?
yeah.
There's.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're in alphabetical
No,
order.
they're worksheet,
Oh, what is this?
says draft two, I don't know what time.
Version
They have
two.
version two.
Increase deposit and then.
Oh, idea.
So there you go, as you can see,
I never
it's,
use this.
it's in constant movement.
It's just a pain in the butt.
Well, this is a new form, this is technically one of the new ones that they
Yeah,
added.
no, but we don't.
Okay,
I
let's
don't
go to
recommend
the
if we
second.
use them.
No, there has been an IDA before.
Oh, yeah, there always was.
Yeah.
It was different than that, so.
Okay, let's go to the second link, I want to show you the second link, so that should help you as well.
Kind of like an R idea.
That should help you as well. So the
That's
second
for
one,
increased deposit.
quick reference guide of all car standard forms, you see
There
that?
we go.
So this is really helpful if you want to refresh how to handle a form or whatever, it goes by all this. Can you scroll?
Well, those can also be sent to people.
See
right?
guys,
Yes.
yes, absolutely. See guys, it has, can you kind of scroll slowly? See, it has all the description of what.
It gives all the description, but when we're working on a file, we're usually in WIN forms. So where are these new
Zip forms. They're all there.
advisory forms?
They're all in zip forms.
Does it say advisory or what does it say?
It says exactly what it says here.
I mean,
The name does not change from one platform to another. We have the same.
Well, I know a bunch of them are guides and I've looked, I can't find the guides in there.
What
If
do
you
you
hadn't
mean?
sent them to me where I could put the exact name into the search engine, I would have never found them.
Yeah, I don't remember all the guides' names either, but this is what where you can find that. It's all here on this. So try to play with it and see if that will help. If not, we will work on that. Okay, guys, all right. So we basically covered quite a bit today, I think, but it's not yet the end of it. So I just noticed that I haven't gave you the. This is a card form. Remember we were talking about recap? You can use this form if you want to, or you can use your own email as we talked, as we spoke. So it's, I think it's, yeah, so you can use the form, no, it's actually several pages for one
Oh,
form.
What's it called?
Oh.
It's called confirmation of conversation.
It's a front and back page,
Oh, front and back?
Yeah.
Okay, okay,
so
okay.
it is one page, just front and back.
Oh, okay, okay,
I
okay.
sent you the PDF.
All right.
Okay, got it.
Now,
Oh, I remember it.
what I would like to talk about, several things left to talk about. Number one is the, okay, you see that, right, guys? So you can use their form or you can use your email, but I thought I would share this with you. And this kind of proves my point that the car attorneys also think it's very important, confirmation of conversation. Every single conversation you have, please confirm it in writing. Please do that. You will be safe, much safer. Now, tracking items, we talked about that before. I'm going to actually enforce this in a way that I will keep asking you. We need that. So let's talk about this, please. Oh, I need one. Okay. Okay, so tracking items, can you go to the pipeline, please? Okay, so let's go to Dorothy's file. And
Which one?
Dorothy's file will be, I forgot to name
Yeah,
it.
Agua or Monterey.
No,
Rhea did on.
this one, Ariella. Orilla, okay? I want to show you. So we have tracking items, we do have them, what I see, like Pauline probably done this, do you see this? Transaction timeline, see this? This is for purchase. This is for purchase, which we will still need to work on it next time. But let's take a look at the listing. We need the same, I need to see that, it's very important that we see that for listing.
Wait a minute. Was that added in?
Yeah.
Or is, I mean, she filled that
Yeah.
up herself, she added that in, yes,
Yeah.
good, all right.
Yeah, so as you can
You
see,
got days, but you don't have the actual date.
yeah,
Okay.
what she has done,
Because it's a listing that isn't even being
Oh,
shown yet.
okay, all
So
right.
there is
She's
no
prepping.
yeah,
RPA.
it's not there yet.
Oh, this is the
But this
listing
is,
side,
this is,
okay.
this is, is this for listing or for purchase?
Listing, but I just have that later when we get it in
When we
offer.
get into an offer, then.
Okay,
they'll-
so
Just
let's,
a template that they're using.
so let's assume that it's now, so let's not confuse ourselves. We need to add those items from the contract to this. Every single listing must have every item that I have here. It's not too many actually, it's just several, but we need to have that. So date of the contract. Okay, so I put here date contract to office, so let's review this, my template. Date contract to the office. So it's very important for me to see when you input it, of course I can see it, but the glance, at a glance kind of thing really helps. Date contract prepared,
This is a summary.
yeah, this has it here. Now, acceptance date, okay, I'm not going to change anything you put here. What I'm asking you is to add these items.
Okay.
They are from the contract. Every single listing must have them. It's very important, guys.
So we have a cover sheet in zip forms.
Yep.
Do we just want to put that into pipeline? Cause that
Can we
has
do that?
all of this.
You
Yeah,
can,
you can save it as a PDF.
As a
and put it in
PDF
there.
and put it in?
you
I mean,
can,
then we
you
have
can
it
do
all.
whatever you want. We need to decide which
Well, at
way.
least that way it would be consistent between all of us. You wouldn't have it in different ways and you know where to find
That's
it.
And all of this is there. I mean, everything
Everything,
here
yeah,
is
everything you're asking for is in zip
in the
forms.
cover sheet.
Yeah,
Exactly.
It's up to Mark.
So whether it's the broker, the compliance manager, or the TC, you will have to open that each time to see. Versus this is in the summary right there when you.
I like
you
that.
click on this one.
It being a PDF is you can't adjust anything or,
You can replace it.
yeah, you'd have to.
As you
adjust
update it, you just replace it.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that as far as whether it's a TC or a compliance or a manager or broker, I have to go in there and then I'm gonna have to go down to the PDF and open it. I can't just glance, I can't go through different,
It's-
different transactions, and say, where is this,
That's
where
why I
is
brought
this?
it up because.
Because I look at those for closings and stuff, I wanna see.
You mean you wanna know when things are gonna close?
Well.
Wow, why not that?
Now she tells us.
I do, I will glance at those, I don't,
But you're right, opening, it's cumbersome.
it's gonna take more
Especially
time to
Usually
to
there's
deal with
more
each
than
one.
one PDF there, so yeah, I see the
This,
issue.
So
this
take your
order,
summary and put the information there, and when, if you modify it up there.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's,
okay,
So
guys,
just to show you guys how
Don't
to
make-
get to that.
don't
real
make
quick.
it more work.
So
for
what
me.
you guys do, if you guys want to add to that or edit that, you just have to go to
Edit
under
trans-
transaction, edit transaction,
And that's that,
and then you just scroll down.
and you can add more notes right there, that's where you add them down there,
okay.
and you can add more,
Well,
Yeah.
scroll back up, cause some of the information's already there,
it's got,
contingency dates.
that's when they actually,
That's when you're in contract actually.
yeah, when you're in
'Cause
contract, you can
it'll,
fill that in.
yeah, It'll pop up on the very top of the
But
tab.
isn't that what your list down at the bottom is doing too? You're not
Yeah,
in contract
it is.
yet, so you don't have any contingency days.
The issue is that pipeline doesn't let us put everything that we need, it
No.
only lets us put some of the things.
Well,
So
that's
that's why
okay.
we've just
Some
been
of it's
writing
there.
out most of it just via like this.
Yeah, cause this is very specific to, homeowners association or park association.
Yeah, here's the
The mobile
thing,
home, right?
Yeah.
you fill in the top where pipeline has the blanks,
Yeah.
then any additional you add.
Okay,
That's what will,
So-
that'll pop up.
so guys, please
What?
start using this.
And Vicky adds some fields under the other information like home warranties.
Can you add more fields?
That was my question.
Right?
Can we add more fields in that other area?
Okay, Nikki's saying yes.
Yeah, she added one.
Yeah.
I added more, you see,
Manager.
manager approval,
That's
all
what
those
you-
things, I
Add
added all
the
those.
fields there that you want us to fill out and you'll have what you need.
Yeah,
So guys, you have
Not
right,
everybody voted on.
yes, you're right. So you have right now
That's
this template, and this is what I want to see for every listing. If you can go back, because you do have several listings kind of sitting there, if you can add that will be very helpful. The key thing is, guys, that when the auditor comes, they want to see as much as possible easy, right away.
yeah.
That's
Summary.
a summary, like something that they can pinpoint. And then they start digging. We want to cut down on the digging and get them everything we can upfront.
Yeah, cause if they have to go to the contract to find out when our
That's not
contingency
good, they're
dates
looking
were,
for
then they'll see
everything
more
in that
things than we want
contract.
them to see.
Yeah, oh yeah, they're very.
So that's why, guys, I'm trying to ask you, and this year we are going to put a lot of attention on what we see on the system, because the system is you. Nobody knows you, right? Nobody cares how you look, how old you are, how fat or skinny you are. They care about what they see here. Before we had tons of paper in the file like this red one, right?
Yep.
That's what they cared about. Now, this system must be perfect for us to work with so that we are covered. This is our cover. This is what will help you in court, God forbid, if it happens. So again, I am asking you, whoever is in charge, please make sure that the dates are right dates, closing date, if it closes on the 18th and before you put 20th, it has to change to 18th. I need to see that. I don't see that right now. So it's very important that we have exact everything. Everything must be with surgical precision.
So Nikki, can you add these fields that she's put on this paper to that section? So that takes care of this easy.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right.
But yeah, and it makes. Cause I know
It's
when
really
auditor's
gonna
looking
get
at the file, he's looking for consistency between all the realtors.
Yeah,
But
that's
you
true,
call this the
that's
same
brokerage,
thing.
yes, that's
Exactly.
true.
So this helps us become more consistent as.
Yes. Now, talking about the almost perfect file, can we pull Laura? Can we pull Laura?
The transaction?
Transaction, yeah.
Yeah,
I will
LORA.
show you. I was so happy. For
That.
the first time, I was so
And it's a
happy.
BMR.
This is already closed, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
You
wow.
mean it's Edgar's file?
Yeah. Oh, LORA. It's not Laura like the name.
They have a real TC then.
Yeah, they got a new 2C.
Ah, that makes sense.
Yeah, there it is.
Connie was confused.
Very,
Yes.
maybe Edgar's gone through a religious
Guys,
transition.
could you please, children, look at this file. See? Look at this order. It's so clean. And I want to talk, yeah, you can scroll to show that it's all checked and it was unbelievably nice. See? It goes on and on
Oh,
and
we
on.
need to give him an award.
We need to
No,
do
the
this.
TC, the TC.
We give the TC
No. You need to give him an award. You have no idea how many years I've hugged them to hire a TC. So, no, award to him for hiring.
Okay, so guys, let's take a look at this file. I want to show you something. The first item I ask you to show here in any file, remember, is a contract. Okay, so she didn't do it, maybe because of the holidays, I don't know, but I will, oops, why did I do that? Okay, so I'm asking you again and again, the first document that attorney goes to, nothing else, contract. After the contract comes with their own forms, it should be initial listing package, initial purchase package. We talked about it at length. That's what I want to see. And as you can see, all those forms are here, right? See how they attached, everything beautiful, simply beautiful. Let's,
I had a quick question.
I have.
On
it.
the edge over here, the C, what does that mean? And the FE, FUL, what are those?
okay, I don't know what Nikki will tell you, but I know what C is.
What is C?
If C is corrected, that means Berta has asked you to correct something or it's missing, and then when you put it back in there or you correct it, put a C there so that she knows to check it.
Okay, and the FE, FUL?
Fully
Fully
executed.
Fully executed.
Right.
Okay.
So my again, I know we talked about with Nikki.
But Berta, I made it to go in order like that, but the listing should be on top of that MT, I don't know why it's not, but I did do it so that the MLS printout goes above that. I thought you wanted that first, no? The printout? No. Oh, okay. I'll change it.
Yeah, so we remember we talked about that a lot. So I want really to see this, the contract first and everything else goes down. Now, if you scroll down, you will see all the documents, the right documents are here. And then they edit more forms, see more disclosures, and then they come up with the, you see that, inspections. So everything that you can think of is here.
Everything was added on December the 10th. So they got a full package when they scanned it in.
So as far as listing, again, we still are struggling.
And everybody, if you guys just pre-type, whatever you're putting in there, it'll go in order the same way.
You have to make sure you click the name as it pops up.
Yeah.
So you
it's
start
the right
typing the
one.
name of the file and then it will auto-populate, you just click that and it
He's
will.
got an interesting point, so the sale docs are November and the listing docs are December.
Yeah.
So they
Guys.
just put them in there.
Guys, you're absolutely right. I've been struggling with that. I
Yes,
still
that's a
can.
BMR issue, that's why.
Yeah,
Right, this was
it's
our
something
program.
that Margaret and I, we've been talking a lot. But please don't learn from bad examples, okay? So we still need to go through everything we talked about as far as getting into the office, getting it signed, getting it filed, everything should be the same, by now. But this is the beauty of it, it's clean, it goes real well.
Yeah, so the problem with the BMR is that we can't get the cities to sign all the documents.
Until,
They decide, and then they don't get around to it. And the windows are like in 2-week intervals and so it is something we cannot control. When the city is involved in the sale and the listing. So it's a tough burden.
I still want to talk to them. Okay, guys, so do you understand? This is what's new is additional summary for listing, okay? And then we will talk about purchase, what we need to see, everything I gave you again, based on the contract requirement, all
Now,
right?
I just want to clarify for everybody that when you are working in a file, the left side, the checklist is your checklist.
Yes.
You could go in there and say, okay, I've done that, check mark. That's your working list. That's nobody else gets in there.
So if there's something in there that's not applicable to this file, like
Well, that's-
homeowners association docs and I'm not in
They're
there.
not gonna check mark it, right?
Did you change
This
the
is to help
Yes, it should
you
be
say,
changed.
okay,
Uh,
for listing, I need these documents
Yeah,
minimal,
I think they have to
right?
change it.
It's like
to-
check
Do I have
your-
them? I've checked them. Remember, we used to do
It's like
it
in
in
wind
a.
forms, when you go down and you
Right.
select the docs you want.
Once
I
we
mean,
fix
this one
that,
you're
I can
selecting
make
the
it so
docs
it
you-
pops
you
up
need
every
File,
transaction.
Okay,
need
cool,
for that
yeah.
file.
Okay.
Just
It'll
say,
pop up every transaction.
yeah, it'll just say, it lets you know you've done it, right? Here's my listing docs I need. So this is a guide for you folks who haven't done a transaction yet. There's your guide. What do I need for this listing? What do I need for this purchase contract? It's here on this list, and when I have it, I'm gonna check it, so I don't go back and try to revisit and did I do it, did I didn't do it, right? Okay,
Okay,
so
So-
everyone else looks online, so hopefully he hears that too.
Yeah. So guys, Nikki will polish the rest, meaning the checklist or whatever, it will show on everybody's screen, so to say. But I will be really looking for seeing the summary. Please make sure that, you know, you do everything, that you don't have to redo it. And let's start with the contract first, that's what the attorneys want, like I said, and that will be wonderful. All right, one more thing I would like to bring to your attention. I want to talk about coming soon listings, coming soon, okay? Coming soon, are the listings that have limitations to being what, marketed, right?
Marketing to the
Marketed
public, yeah.
to public, that's the only reason for coming soon, right? Okay,
Common reason for having coming soon is sign a contract, get them to sign a contract, even though it's not ready to go on the market yet. That's the reason you do it coming.
Can of worms, you know
Yeah.
that, right?
well, so let's talk about it, because I don't want to be a problem for us, that's why I'm bringing to your attention. What bothers me here, and I talked to attorneys about the car attorney about that. So when we have coming soon, the only thing we don't do with this listing is we do not market it to the public. Okay,
To the public.
to the
You
public.
can.
Let's not go there, we know that we can, but this, yes, but we do not, that's the purpose of coming soon. Now, the next thing, no, you don't agree? All right,
There's more, there's more.
no, there is
I
more,
agree.
but
There's more that could, there's other conditions that could cause a coming soon.
okay, so but the main reason why people saying coming soon, it may be that the owner is sick and not ready. There are tons of reasons why.
At least
But the
that's-
main purpose, the purpose of coming soon is not to put it out for public. Is that right or not? It is right, right?
That's
But so now the reason, yes?
No, go ahead.
The reason I'm saying I wanted to bring to your attention, because while it's coming soon, we still need to do everything we need to do as listing agents. Okay, now here is the thing that bothered me. If I do not get disclosures, TDS, SPQ, and so on, what happens? And that's very easy. What may happen is that if you do have those disclosures, no matter what, right? Then you publish disclosures, they can see the disclosures, the potential
activated,
buyers, right? And then the TDS law comes in where they cannot go back and things like that. Remember that TDS, we will talk next time.
I can't go back to what?
They cannot remove themselves from if they see the disclosures prior to the contract, then once they are contract,
Oh, they
yeah,
can't.
they can-
They can't.
yeah, they can get out of the contract
Right.
because of TDS, okay? So what attorney told me that if you do not do those things, you're not servicing your client properly. It may be an issue.
But when you
You're not
say
doing
not
what
doing
things?
those things, you're talking
I'm
about
talking
not
about
getting all the
disclosures,
disclosures.
yeah.
Okay, so we're talking about getting disclosures before a house is being put on the market, which means it hasn't been painted yet, it hasn't been cleaned yet. We get a disclosure and it shows all that stuff. By the time we put it on the market, it's been painted, it's been staged, a lot of repairs have been done. So we're doing an addendum to the TDS.
You're absolutely right.
Yes.
You're absolutely right, bravo. Okay, so the key thing here,
Not a good thing.
the key, two things I would like to bring to your attention which bothered me a lot. Number one, when you put in the listing that, you know, it's coming soon, my suggestion is to put a reason. Because sometimes what happened that sellers say, she kind of channeled me into that not to put on the market, because some agents do not want to put on the market, they want to sell themselves.
Within their own office.
Within their own
Some of
office,
the
right?
bigger ones definitely do that.
So in order for us to avoid the situation where you can be accused of doing something wrong, and again, I'm not saying you're doing wrong, but attorneys can always find My suggestion is to start handling this particular step differently. Number one, put the reason that they sign, why they're not putting it on the market. Let them tell you the reason they need to sign it, okay? If it's remodeling, be more specific what they want to do. That's what I would like to suggest for you to do.
Now, where do we put that? Is that in?
Addendum,
So
addendum.
what is the timing on coming soon? In terms of a client saying, I want it to be coming soon, but I have other, so what's the timing?
There's no timing unless you negotiate it with the seller. Seller says, I need 2 weeks, I need a month, I need 3 months. Okay, okay, you can do that, no problem. But I need to write it down why. And you sit down and you write out what. Again, guys, I'm getting to the point where I started today. I'm asking you to do more work. But this more work can be a really lifesaver for you. Career saver, money saver, whatever you want to say. Because people in court will say, she asked me or he asked me to put it on the, to put coming soon. Because she wanted to find her own buyer, she wanted time. And
What's
you
the
can
advantage to your client of doing a coming soon?
coming soon, well,
What's the advantage to the client?
well, if they want to prepare the house and you don't want them to wait.
No, it's so you're saying you don't, so it's beneficial to the realtor and the broker, what's the advantage to the client?
The client, I don't know, maybe they will say, I will.
I have some.
Yeah, well, mostly they want it exposed as it's going to be available, is you're trying to see what, you know.
Building
So,
expectations.
yeah,
Well, judging the interest,
Yep.
judging, to actually have, to send a test balloon out there. To see how many calls you get.
But they're
But
gonna
there's
come
another
from,
very important.
but they're only gonna come from agents or drive-bys, because if you're putting a sign out.
No sign.
No, coming soon has a sign with a coming soon,
And
right?
have a coming soon
So you
sign on.
have to have a sign.
No, I don't think you have to, no.
You
But-
can't have a sign if you do not have if you do not have a members only no-show. You cannot put a sign out there. MLS rules, you'll break the MLS rules.
Oh, okay.
If it's a no-show. Right, but if it's just a coming soon.
With members.
No, if it's a coming soon, no matter what.
Members
If you have a
only.
sign, you have to have a list, you have to have an MLS listing of some kind, either no-show, show, or after.
Like, there really is
But
no
let me-
such thing in MLS that's coming soon.
Correct, it's probably members only, okay. So let me just share another reason to have a coming soon. I have a listing in a mobile home park, and the mobile home management is trying to foreclose on the house. The reason we have to have it as a coming soon, when we can't go active, is I'm not sure I have a legitimate seller, because 2 dead people are on title, and yet he is in the trust, he's named in the trust, and we're waiting on 2 death certificates. So, what are we waiting on? Find out if I have a legal seller, but in the meantime, I need to prevent the park from foreclosing, so I had to put a sign that said coming soon, which is why I have a members only no show. I can't go active if I don't have a legitimate seller. But it's complicated.
So based on what you just described, please remind me, do you have it somewhere in your file, the situation?
I have conversation logs, I have, it's on the listing, mostly it's the listing and conversation logs. He's working on disclosures, but again, and I have the park inspection that and I have interaction with the park manager. Conversations.
Okay, in pipeline,
No, not yet.
No, but it's.
so you can download it as a PDF and put it in pipeline, or you can start using pipeline for your communication. The
So,
thing is that when you send it out, they have to reply all back, so it pops back into it, so the reply is.
so guys, everything that Dorothy just explained, it sounds logical, right? It sounds reasonable, but it means nothing without documentation. What's the reason? What's going on? How long it's going on? Who says what? Because it's a legal issue here. And we need to have that. We need to have it in the file. That's all I'm saying. We need to have it on the contract as addendum maybe. We need to have the reason. That's all I want. The reason why it's coming soon. That's how you protect yourself. Guys, you may be saying, oh my God, it's so much work she's talking about. Yes, it's extra work, but that's you're getting good money, guys. So that's worth it. And plus, Margaret's license is the
But I
same.
thought where you were going back was the seller is telling you why it's
Yes,
coming.
yes, that's what I want. I want the seller to sign that reason. Nobody will be able to accuse you later that you did it for profits.
Well, in that case, is he willing, but he thinks he is the seller, but you have to communicate that you're not on title, therefore we need, this is the, what I recommend.
I have a copy
I
of the
recommend.
title, and I have documentation, I mean, I have conversation, when both of those people are dead.
Where
But I
in
don't
here
have-
does it say that we can have a listing not on MLS?
Oh, that's a
It's on there.
SPL,
It says right here,
it's a new one, MLSA,
No, but it's
called
not, in-
MLSA.
but it's not here.
It's
It's
right
not
here.
in the listing.
Yes, it is.
No, this says what
Yes, it is.
MLS you're gonna
Yes,
put it
it
on.
is.
It's
Yes, it
easier.
is.
Yes, it is.
Yes,
No.
it is, because I just did it.
Yeah.
It'll be marketed in the following MLS.
If permitted by MLS. If
Yeah, the bottom.
permitted, if permitted by MLS. So that's what you need to run by MLS to make sure.
Okay, well,
Okay,
it's
guys.
here.
Question.
Who has, Z has a question?
Yeah.
All right,
It's
Z,
in
go
here,
ahead.
I just saw it.
For about 10 minutes.
I went through it.
Okay, so I want to ask, it's confusing because when I read about a coming soon, it says when it's coming soon, you cannot show it.
It depends on the type of coming soon.
There's two.
Okay,
There's broker,
okay, let me finish.
okay.
Go.
Okay, we have, if we know some investors, they don't want to talk to you about it if you're showing it. But if you're not showing it, you're not supposed to show it.
Can show, and are you promoting it or are you going to your own network?
Okay, that's, okay.
Yeah, it's
So if I
not
go to my own
public.
network, then that's fine.
Yes.
Okay.
Then you're.
It was confusing, sorry.
So the key, my point about coming soon is to document the reason, which seller gives you the reason. That's all I'm asking you. Please do that. That will be very helpful if you do that, believe me. Margaret will say thank you to you.
Thank you. At Z, there's one more thing I just wanna say.
Yes.
If you're going to market it to your investors, you have it communicated in the listing agreement that you're gonna do that, but you do not put it on as a members only no-show, or you will be in violation even if you're showing it to your own network.
That was my question.
Oh, wait a minute.
That's the key. Yeah.
Here, you got
Say
it.
that again.
Because if it's a members only no show, it means it cannot be shown by
Even to
anyone.
your own network, so
Right.
you communicate to your seller before you go to the MLS that you're going to market it and have a window to do that on an off-market situation.
So
And then
you have to allow other,
Correct.
Members to show it too,
Okay.
not just you.
Now,
No,
once you go
It's
to,
not even on the MLS.
It's an off market technically, and
Before you
so.
go on the MLS, that's the space of time that you negotiate with your buyer, your seller.
With investors. So the listing agreement is signed, but it's not on the MLS yet.
Correct.
And there's a window between the signing of the listing agreement, and it's in the listing agreement that it's gonna be off market for
Yes.
20
But
days.
as soon as you sign a listing agreement, you're supposed to put it on the MLS.
within
No,
24
there's a
hours.
No, there's an exclusion.
So right here, C4, okay, E1,
Yes, E1.
on page 1, MLS and public marketing, E1. Property will be marketed in the following MLS, so, and then you've got primary or other, and then you've got another box that says see car form MLSA, so
And there's
that's the
a date on
exclusion.
that form, that's
Okay.
when you put the date that you're going to start marketing. Because it really ties our hands if we can't do off market, and if we break rules, but
Exactly.
that way, that does not break rules.
What
If
is
you
the
get that
law
is
that
very
has something of cooperation?
clear cooperation, well, you just say it does not apply.
So sell is
Because your
gone.
seller, no, because your seller says
During this period of time.
during that period of time, you don't.
So sell is gone, you know that, right? Sell is gone.
Yeah,
You
seller
know that.
exclusion. yes.
Sell exclusion is gone.
This
All
is
right,
the
guys,
new-
my
new
last,
GSA.
my last point and we will be done. So go ahead, please, pass this.
Yeah.
Connie.
There's just one?
Yeah, just.
What she's saying is, if the seller says, I want it not to be shown for 20 days and I wanna try to sell to an investor, then you just have to write that all down.
Yeah.
That we've excluded it for 20 days because your seller wants you to exclude it,
Correct,
not because
that's the
you
point.
think that you
Yeah.
said.
All right, that's the point. I want to see it in the contract. All right, guys, go ahead, take a look, read it,
Okay.
and tell me what you think.
It's text over. Addendum.
Desiree, what do you think?
I think we've been sitting here for too long.
Desiree,
I
tell me
mean,
what you think about
Shouldn't
this.
this be in
Hold on, let's see
counter
what,
offer?
hold on, please. What do you think about the text? What's your opinion?
What do you mean by the way I think about the text?
The content of this addendum.
It's not a good one.
I mean, it's familiar to me. I did quite a few of these when I was thinking was training me for TC work. And I had to go in and like anything that was changed after contract. So it's familiar, but I don't know what to really say.
Okay.
What is it attached to?
What is this attached to?
I have no
Contract.
idea what it's attached to.
Contract.
Any
It
contract.
doesn't say it.
But which
It doesn't
part of
be
the
any
contract?
It doesn't define what it's attached to.
It doesn't.
It's a purchase contract, right?
Well, it says SCO.
Yeah, that's.
Is it the seller counteroffer that it's attached
Oh,
to?
yeah.
What
Yeah, it's a
document is
counteroffer.
it attached to?
It's a purchase contract and, yeah. So let's talk about this. This is,
Oh, here it is, yeah, so this is an SEO because you got seller shall pay buyer's broker 28% of sales price.
okay, so
So the
guys,
counter offer attachment.
so it's a counter offer, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about the text.
There's too many words there.
It's, if you look at the text and you're an attorney, the attorney will tell you this is practicing law without a license.
Yeah, it is a lot.
Okay, we cannot write those things. We cannot write this way.
But, and there are some forms that cover some of these things that
Okay.
are here.
We cannot write the way it is.
Yeah, that's this whole paragraph that says,
Yeah.
forfeit the
Yeah.
deposit, blah, blah,
Yeah.
that
We cannot do that.
paragraph you can't do.
You agree, right?
Yeah.
So guys, please make sure you do not write this way. I ran it by attorney because I wanted to make sure that I will be telling you what the right thing is. And the attorney said this is definitely practicing law without a license.
You know, this is so funny, because I got a call yesterday from someone who's a very top producer, been in the business a really long time, and she called me because one of my clients had inquired on one of her listings.
Hmm.
And she was telling me that the deal doesn't look too, it looks like it might go wrong, but no problem because she covered, this must have been from her. Anyway, she covered the seller, it's a long escrow. She covered the seller so that if they do not close, automatically that deposit goes to the seller. Yeah, and she told me that she covered it and wrote it in the contract, so this is funny that this popped up. Anyway,
Okay, so
so-
what we do, guys, first of all, SCO, nobody knows what it is.
It's not a counteroffer.
You know,
Yeah.
but other people don't.
Right.
It should be spelled out, guys, it should be spelled out. Do you understand?
Oh, it should be. I mean, it took us a minute to figure, and it still isn't clear.
Right?
It's still
So-
isn't clear.
That's what you do, that's how
I don't
you
know if it's
write,
counteroffer or
that's
not.
how you write, everything's spelled out, everything's spelled out. And of course, you do not do everything here, what she put or he put, everything here, because this is definitely practicing law without a license. So whatever you want to say, How do we do it right? Tell me, I was teaching you last year how to do this right. You reference paragraphs, you reference documents, you reference RPA, residential purchase agreement, paragraph 5, A1, 2, 3, page this. That's how you do it if you want to reference something. If you don't know what it is, don't do it. Don't do it. If they want to write something like this,
So what should they have done here?
Well, first of all,
Write a new contract?
attorney knows what should be
well,
done.
the very second line should be the buyer broker agreement.
Shall refer to.
So
Well,
she just summarized an entire agreement in what,
I
6 or
I
7
understand,
words?
but my question is, what should she have done? Because we know that, well, we assume that there is a contract, so what did the contract say?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I cannot answer those questions. And there is no need to dissect it word by word. The only thing is clear. This is not a good writing. Okay?
yeah, don't write that.
She went over the top here.
All right, very good, very good. So guys, we have learned, I think we have learned a lot. Let's recap what have we learned today, please.
Uh-oh.
Where to find all of the red print.
Okay, we learned that, right?
Yeah, that's important to me.
And
Very
how
good.
is Deanna going to find her there?
Now, what about license?
How does that?
I can't.
Oh.
I haven't seen the red.
Client a copy of
Easy to
the
find that,
license,
isn't it?
Nobody
letter of
hears you.
intent.
Well, it's very important. Let's hear you.
Does
I'm gonna
Carl-
look there.
Yeah, absolutely. The
Okay,
girl will explain it.
So
Yeah, it's right
Celeste wants to recap.
And Bertha, are you gonna
Don't
update
worry.
these pages?
Yes, she is.
So let's
I
recap.
asked her to.
Number one, recap everything
Yes,
in writing.
in writing. Recap everything what's happening between you and your client. Do not leave it just disappear. Every phone conversation, everything what you do, please. Someone else too, related to transaction, okay?
Send your client a copy of your license and get a letter of good standing from school.
Yeah, and why do we need a license? Why do we want to use license and a letter of good standing from your association?
To stand out from other agents.
To stand out.
Well, understand that you, yeah.
And you are professional. You show the history, how many years you've been. You know, you are really special for the new people. Yes. Okay?
Another one is use the DIA, Disclosure Information Advisory.
Well, in terms of this particular forum, what was the reason I brought it up?
Use it early, use it early.
Timing is perfect. It should be perfect timing when you give people forms to sign, right? If you don't do it right, then you're, again, that's not a good.
So when are you giving them this form?
When are we giving the form? We talked about that.
When you take the listing, when you send the
Before.
redo it.
Before you send out disclosures, you give them this, or together with disclosures, but this form teaches, yeah, teaches them, first form should be this one, and then disclosures. Okay, what else? What else have we
Any
done?
additional things, that form, you make it part of the contract, so you would
Yes,
add it as an addendum.
quite a bit, huh? Quite a bit of stuff.
When you get an offer, send an email to the seller and tell them to review the listing agreement, sections, blah, blah, blah.
Yes, when you have an offer, use listing agreement as reference, use educate, counsel, by doing what? Sending them to the right resources. That's how you push trouble from yourself.
Let me ask you, I have a question. Because with this world of, you know, in the old days, you sign it, you get copies of everything in a nice package, and sometimes some sellers, I try to do that with buyers. Give them a whole package that they can file. Some people don't want it. It's not our responsibility to create a file for them, right? To put all the forms and everything. It's their responsibility when they get it all in email that they put it wherever, right?
Our responsibility is to make sure that they have copies of everything they sign. And today is very easy because everything is through DocuSign. What they do with copies,
Not our problem.
Not my
Okay.
But you say
Just wanna make
that,
sure.
Bridget, the copies, an email copy is a copy, it doesn't have to be a hard copy.
yeah, absolutely. But everything you do needs to be signed by them, whatever you plan to do for them, okay? All right, any questions, guys?
Oh, let me see. Wait a minute, we can download that transaction. And we can let's download that transaction. I just wanna see it. And download the transaction. And we should be able to then, you will receive an email with a link. Okay, we can forward that.
Okay.
We download them all anyway because.
Well,
of
we
the
do as
backup.
our backup, I'm talking about
Oh.
providing them.
To the client.
So
Yeah.
guys, again, my
Okay,
big,
I want to
my,
see what it looked like.
yeah, my big request, please respond to my emails. Don't ignore me. Doesn't feel right when you ignore me. Doesn't feel good.
You're
because
not
I never-
loved.
I'm not
I
loved. I
understand.
don't feel like I'm
Nobody
loved.
answers mine either, honey. I don't
So-
know what they do.
Yeah, but anyway, I'm grateful to you for your efforts. Thank you so much. Thank you guys, really. You have done a lot of things to see the Edgar's file like that, right?
Yeah.
Margaret, that's,
Yeah,
that's big. That's a
Now
big
you have
effort.
me, oh my gosh.
All right,
Okay,
have a
thank you.
wonderful day. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
So
Thank
we'll
you.
see you next month.
Yep, thank you all. Thank you for coming. Appreciate it. It's always good.
You wanted to say something?
Yeah.
Yes. All right.
Not been on the road, it was a complete disaster, and I did not follow my normal protocol.
That's okay. It's always time to.
And I feel bad.
It's always to change.
But something you said
Some
today
cookies.
made me think of several incidents last year where I had problems where there were times I could have sent, and I didn't think of looking. That would have saved me a lot of arguing.
Headache.